Hello, this is Terry Morriston. In this tutorial, we're going to take a look at how you can use the blog page on Weebly. This tutorial is being made with Screencast-O-Matic. This tutorial assumes that you have a basic understanding of how to create your page in Weebly, and we will focus specifically on the blog settings. Once you have logged into your account, you are ready to create your blog page. So you will click on the tab at the top of the page that says Pages. Now you will click Add Page. From Add Page, you want to specifically choose a blog page. And of course, you're going to give your blog page a name. That name should reflect the purpose of your blog and page, and we're going to take a look at two ways to use the blog page, either as a traditional blog or as a discussion board. So however you want someone to find it, considering your audience, parents, community, or students, give that page a name that will lead the person there. So in this case, I'm designing my page for parents, and so I have a name that will attract to the parents. I choose to use the short header version of the page. So I click the short header button and now save and edit. To use your page as a traditional blog, it's very simple to get started. You're going to click New Post. Now remember, a traditional blog would be one in which you as an author write sort of a mini essay on a relevant topic. So first insert your headline, and then determine what kind of an element you wish to place here. So you can put a multitude of things. You can put just text or text and image or some other items that you're familiar with. In this case, I'm going to use just text for now. So I drag that, let it go into my main section of my page. You type your text, include as much as you need. You can even copy and paste it from another document. You also have to make consideration on the post settings. So if you're using Facebook or Twitter, you can turn those on. You have to decide what you want to do about comments. So you can either have it open so that anybody can type a comment, have comments approved first, or closed. I believe that when you're first starting out, you want to go with closed. And later on, you can decide whether or not you will have the time and the patience to handle whatever comments may appear. So after you have done that, you can save it if you are totally finished, or you can save to drafts, meaning that you're going to work on it, you're not quite ready to publish it yet. But for our purposes, you click Save. Now you've published your first blog post. Now remember, while this isn't a tutorial on how to write a good blog, and I have provided some of those in our class resources, it's important that you've considered your audience, because this particular page is designed for an audience, whether this is a page for a student or a fellow colleague page, or whether this is a page for parents. Once you've posted your first blog and you've set your comments, then it's time to decide what you want to do on the sidebar. I would assume that either your students or your parents know you by now and don't particularly need an author box. I would instead create a box that explains the purpose of the page. This can be a time when you can use what you know about Weebly to be just a little bit creative in this area. I wouldn't get too creative, especially if you're making a page for community. But since this page can be very text heavy, one of the things that you might want to add into this side of the page is a photograph, particularly photographs of your classroom. I wouldn't put random photographs here, but specifically photos of the classroom. If you're going to use photos that have students in it, make sure you're in compliance with your school district's policy. So using the image icon, I have added an image from my classroom. You may not wish to keep everything that is here. Categories is for including tags, and of course an RSS feed would be to have parents put this feed onto their page. If you don't feel your parents are going to use that, it might be confusing, you can always delete it. You can go back and edit any one of your blog posts. You simply want to hover over the title and click it. Now you're back in that edit mode. Now in this case, because part of our lesson was to learn about social bookmarking, we're going to put the widget from one of the social bookmarks that we have learned this week. And the widget that you include should be connected thematically or subject-wise to whatever your post has been. My post is about the role of the parent in education, and I'm going to use a mentor mob. So I'm going to grab my embed code icon, I'm going to pull it over, let go of course. Then I'm going to add my embed code from my mentor mob. In this case, I go to my playlist, click the share button, click the embed button, get my code and paste it. Once I have done that, then my icon, my playlist rather, will appear on the screen and I click save. It is important visually to have a nice balance between the quantity of text and the widget from your social bookmarking site. So make sure that your social bookmarking graphic or visual doesn't overwhelm your page. Balance enough text against the size of the bookmark. And then also it is important to give a little bit of a lead in to that bookmarking widget so the parent knows what they're supposed to do when they see that. This type of page can have many uses. A guidance counselor might want to put college searching and recommendation pages here for the parents. A librarian might want to put book reviews for the student. A principal might want to put educational materials for their teachers here. So you're only limited, of course, by your imagination. This page can also be very easily adapted to be a discussion board page for a classroom. Instead of the blog post, the teacher then would create a prompt, and the success of a discussion board is often dependent upon the quality of the prompt that is placed here. So the prompt should promote higher order thinking and not be answered with something that can be looked up on Google. In other words, it has to pass the Siri test. If Siri can answer it, it's not a good prompt. Then, of course, comments must be enabled so that the students can respond to the prompt in the comment area. If you're going to use this as a discussion board page, then you also should, in this section, include some rules of posting for your students. This is very, very important. It's important to establish that from the beginning. You will also then want to consider your settings very carefully, because here you might want to make sure that you have either you have to have it either open so you can post the comments can be posted, or require approval. And I think in the beginning you might want to use require approval until you've established the rules, and then have it open, let your students post their comments, and then deal with any comments that are inappropriate as you would with any other inappropriate behavior in your classroom. But if you're going to use this as a discussion board, just take a few minutes and consider how you want to set your blog settings, and make sure that that's explained in the rules for both use and appropriate classroom blog comments. The use of such items, such as the social bookmarking widgets, not only provide more information, but they help your page be more attractive visually, because again, this can be a page that gets very, very text heavy. So I do recommend that if you're going to use a page like this, that you break it up a little bit by sometimes using image and text, maybe including a gallery of pictures, just the types of things that would take your page beyond being a list of text items. And of course, when you are done, you're going to click Publish. After you have clicked Publish, you want to take a look at how your page appears. So go back, let's take a look, and we should see all of the items that we wanted on our page, in which case, if we're happy with it, then we're done, and if not, we can go back into the edit mode. So I hope that this has been an understandable tutorial in how to use the Weebly blog page either as a blog or as a discussion board.